What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. This video is all about the CW's version of Superman and why I think he is the best live-action version of Superman we may have ever gotten. So let's get right into this video. Now, I should say right off the bat, they're going to contain spoilers for the first episode of Supergirl Season 2, which debuted Monday night on the CW. So if you have not seen that episode, it's pretty much all that I'm talking about when it comes to this character. So I'm going to spoil the hell out of that episode. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Come back, watch this video, because I'm telling you, this is a great version of Superman for so many different reasons. So let's get right into it. Now, the big talk for Supergirl Season 2 was, of course, the fact that Superman, her cousin, Kal-El, was going to be in this episode. Now, he was a part of Supergirl Season 1, but he was never fully seen as a character and definitely not fleshed out. So, we got to experience this character for the first time, and guys, he blew me away. He kind of floored me. I have to be honest. There was moments leading up to it. There were things that I liked about it. There were things that I didn't like about it. I would say about 20 minutes in, he had me completely sold to the point where I just had this warm feeling inside and was like, yes, like, honestly, it feels incredible that we live in this day and age where we can get this kind of a Superman in live action, because although I unabashedly love Man of Steel, it's almost like an Elseworld version of that character. It's a postmodern version of that character. It lacks a lot of the things that you as a Superman fan, if you are one, expect from your character. So first of all, let's start with his portrayal of Clark Kent. I mean, just the way he has his rapport with other people, he has this wholesomeness to him, this confidence, but also benevolence and awkwardness. There's this part where they're coming up on an elevator with Supergirl and himself, and the elevator opens and Clark is helping this person with all of these papers and apologizing, and Supergirl says to him, "Wow, you really have that clumsy thing down pat." And he said, "No, that one was actually real." And it's just so wholesome and so real, and it really blew my mind the way that he interacts, Clark, with these other people. He has a firmness to him, but he has this wholesome Midwestern just charm to him. Very, very cool. Much different than the version that we see with Henry Cavill, who was, of course, hardened, a little bit distanced from humanity. This guy, I mean, he really embodies all of the things that you think of when you think of like a Silver Age or a Golden Age or even pre-52 Superman. It was really impressive. Now, as for when he gets in the suit himself, not only do the effects look incredible, but just the little things, guys. This is what is great. Now, I have to give a ton of credit to Tyler Hoechlin, because he obviously brings the noise, embodies the character, does really well. However, a lot of this credit has to go to Greg Berlanti and all of the producers, the Simon Kinberg, everybody who's involved with these shows, because it's the little things. It is the little details that really make this character great. Like when he flies up to Supergirl when she's handling the shuttle, and he doesn't just jump in. He asks her if she needs a hand. Then, when she says yes, and it's a job for both of them, you see him go into action, and you can just kind of tell, even though it's not explicitly spelled out, that he is not doing what he could do as Superman and taking over the whole project, but allowing her to struggle and to like hone her skills and to be better. It's very cool and very subtle. The way he interacts with Kara is very cool as well. Like he embodies that whole Superman thing, this godlike nature, this benevolence, but also he has like a passe kind of quality. I really felt a lot of zen coming off of him, which is really cool. He like lets certain things slide, compliments and this and that. And there, for instance, there was this really cool moment after they saved the jet, or perhaps it was later with the drones, but they're on the ground and there's some people, and Kara says, "I usually say hi." And he says, me too. And they go over and talk to him and everything. And she tells an embarrassing thing about him, and he says, I don't know if you had to say that. But he's not mad. He is Superman. It felt really, really cool. As far as his powers go and showcasing all of that, I mean, he's really adept. He can do certain things. There was this one little moment where a character is, in awe of him, which is another big thing. But they're in awe of him, and they ask him, when you were last fighting Lex Luthor and on the fault when he was trying to create this earthquake, did you measure the depth of this thing with your X-ray vision? And kind of implying that the way Superman goes about all of these things is on a very different level. He is so honed in to how to use his abilities and how the world around him works, and has become a real student of the world around him in order to best facilitate what he is trying to accomplish. There's so much depth, and they did a great job of showing all of this without really explaining it. I really, really love that as a philosophy in visual arts, show don't tell, and they did a really great job in this first episode doing it. The last thing I want to talk about, the thing that really nailed it down for me, was the humanity. See, that's what people don't understand about Clark, I think, is that all of these other things, like his powers, his stoic nature, his knowledge of all things, all these godlike things, those are really ancillary qualities. What really makes Clark an awesome character is the humanity in him, and they nail it in this episode. One moment that really sticks out to me is he gets a call from Lois to make sure he's okay, and he's with Kara, and oh man, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but just the way he talked to her, that's the kind of dude you want in your life. He's completely honest, very happy to be with Kara, but also happy to be talking to Lois in that moment. They hang up the phone, and Kara says, I love how she worries about you. And Clark would, in such an earnest way, says, me too. He honestly really likes it, although he's Superman, and let's be honest, there's very few things that could ever really throw anything risque at him. He's probably never in legitimate danger, but the fact that his love interest calls him to make sure he's okay, and the fact that he really loves that was humanizing. It felt awesome. There's another moment at the very end of the episode when he's talking to Supergirl, and he says, I never really realized how awesome it is to be with someone of my same kind, of my same race. He says, I know all about Krypton from the archives and the Fortress of Solitude, but I like it when you tell stories about home. It makes it real. And the way he delivered it, it was just so brilliant and earnest. You get it. Here's a guy who all of his understanding of his home world is analytical. It would be like taking a history class on your past family vacations and not ever having to been there, but learning it in that sense. And he asked Kara if he would stick around, if she would tell him more stories about his parents. And that is that shit right there, man. That's the good stuff, right? That is the wholesome awesomeness of Clark Kent. And I really do believe for that, in the way they subtly handle his abilities and his stature and everything like that, I really do believe, I bought in, guys. I'm 100% in. I really, really buy in. I think he's awesome. Just to touch on one little negative thing. He is so positive, especially in the Superman character. I didn't have any problems with his Clark at all, but there are some ways that he delivers lines and gives answers to other characters when he's Superman that you can almost feel that there's a little bit of a disingenuous nature to what he is saying. It felt kind of politician-y, but I don't know. I haven't decided whether that's good or bad. That might actually be good, because it kind of was well, he actually is pissed, or he actually does think that's a dumb question, or whatever, but he's good-natured enough to filter it through what he should be saying, which is totally fine. But that's my only gripe. That's the one thing, and I don't know if that's just heckling, kind of, that could have been some first-day shooting, second-day shooting kind of stuff. So I don't know if the full range of him as Superman has been developed yet, and hopefully over time it will be. But that's literally the only negative. And I have to say, and even though, like I said, I love Henry Cavill, love Man of Steel, this is Superman. And this is a great Superman. This is a Superman you want to watch with your kids, with your younger brother or sister, or just anybody. You know, this is why he's a great character. And it's not the powers, guys. It's the humanity. So that's what I think. And, you know, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you thought if you saw the episode. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you like? What don't you like about that character? And we can have a discussion about this then. But let's check that nerd card real quick. Let's go Superman. So I want to know, as the nerd card question, what is the name of the two Jewish boys from Cleveland that created the Man of Steel? Answer the question in the comments section below. Like the video. And like I said, you're definitely going to want to be active in the comments because the contest/giveaway is still going on to the end of October. And speaking of that, the two winners today who are going to receive digital copies of my comic and the Heroes Ignited anthology would be Brittany Walsh, who is actually my stepsister, so it was cool to draw her name, and then Charles Lee. Both of you guys are going to get messages from me. Hit me back up so I can get your contact info, get you the copies of this stuff. Oh, and I did want to add one little thing here. I got to see Doctor Strange, the 15-minute preview in IMAX. It was incredible, but the main point is I'm adding these posters, which I got there. They allowed me to get some extra posters. I'm adding them to the grand prize winner for the contest at the end of October. Answer nerd card questions, you get 5 drawings into that giveaway. Going to pull at the end of October and give 2 people just a ton of awesome, cool stuff. So make sure you're active in the comment section. I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!